Hello and welcome to the Indian Express News Analysis. So today's date is 13th November of 2018 and here we discuss all the important articles which are available in the editorial and the opinion page. So let's have a quick look at what are the different articles that you have to discuss today. Before that, if you're not subscribed to my channel Military Mantra, please subscribe because here you get daily The Hindu analysis along with Indian Express analysis in Hindi and English. And if you go to playlist, you will find lectures on Indian polity and economics. So here are the various articles that you have to discuss today. So the first one is about the Sri Lankan crisis. So here the president of Sri Lanka, whose name is Maithripala Sirisena. So he has basically done two things. So the first thing that he has done is he has sacked the present Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe. So with him he has a government known as Unity Government, but he has pulled out all his support from it. That's the reason he has brought in a new Prime Minister who is basically Mahinda Rajapaksa. So this is the first thing that he has done. The second thing that he has done is he has actually dissolved the parliament itself. So right now Ranil Wickremesinghe cannot even prove his majority in parliament because parliament stands dissolved. So right now you need to understand two things here. The first thing is the growing dominance of the executive power in Sri Lanka. Because if you try to understand it with respect to the Indian context, what you will observe is in India, there is a equal distribution of power. There is basically known as separation of power concept between the legislative, executive, and judiciary. And here, everybody keeps a check and balances on each other. But when it comes to Sri Lanka, your executive is very strong. That's the sole reason why president is taking a lot of ad hoc decisions based on the say the prime minister or even the parliament. But what we need to understand here is there was 19th Constitution Amendment in the Sri Lanka, which was actually desired to reduce or basically curtail the power of president. So right now he cannot go on beyond the two terms that he has. Also, he cannot just remove the PM before 4.5 years. Also, you need to understand here that there is a lot of power capture that is done by the president right now, who is basically Maithripala Sirisena. So the whole reason why he has been doing this is because there is loopholes when it comes to the constitution written in English and then translated to Sinhalese. There is a basic loophole that he have found. That's the whole reason why he's capturing a lot of power using that loopholes. So moving forward, we'll discuss about the Assam issues because we understand the NRC concept. 40 lakh people are outside the final draft. Also, we need to understand with respect to the new citizenship bill that is going to be bring in the parliament also. So we'll try to understand this holistically. And the top article is basically about the USA politics. We know the recently midterm election have been conducted and the policies of Donald Trump. This is quite political in nature, so we will not be discussing this. And below article is about T.N. Srinivasan. So he actually recently passed away, so we are going to discuss about his contribution. So he was basically related to the economic field, right? And right over here, this is about the urban life. So right now we know that after the census of 2011, there's a lot of contribution when it comes to GDP by our urban people. So what we have understood is we have grown from a rural background to the urban one. We have done a lot of improvement when it's come to standard of living, the lifestyle itself. But what we have forgotten is that while we are actually developing, we have not given care to right proper planning when it's come to city planning. That's the whole reason why we see overpopulation in most of the cities, and there's the same reason why the pollution is also increasing. So all these things are very important when it comes to the essay. And this article is about the India and Singapore relation. So recently we have conducted a military exercise known as SIMBEX. So basically this is a naval exercise between India and Singapore. And just a pre-drop of it, we need to understand here that there's one of the dialogue known as Shangri-La dialogue. Here most of the countries come and tell their policies with respect to maritime, with respect to the diplomacy, the geopolitics, which is actually emerging. So they come here, all the important people, they come here and discuss it. So in the same line, we have something known as Rise in a Dialogue, so which happens in New Delhi. So it is on the same nature of Shangri-La dialogue, and recently our Prime Minister, when he actually went into Shangri-La dialogue, he explained our concerns about Sagar. Sagar is basically security and growth of all in the region, and this region is basically the Indian Ocean region. What we expect is, in order for everybody to grow, what is required is mutual cooperation among each other. Only then we can achieve the aim of Sagar. And moving forward, he'll discuss about the RTI Act. So this basically there has been a rating of RTI, right to information, which he brought in 2005. So we'll be discussing about briefly about RTI and what this rating is all about. So let's start with this particular celestial body known as Oumuamua. So there's an article right down here which is about this. So what this basically is there are a lot of questions being asked, whether it's an asteroid, whether it's a celestial body, planet, comet, or basically is it basically a place where aliens live? Because we discovered it in 2017, and there have been a lot of speculation saying what exactly is this body which have recently entered into our solar system. Is it a part of our solar system? Does it have its origin in the same way as Earth has? There are a lot of questions about it. So that's the reason there have been an article about Oumuamua. Moving forward, we'll discuss about the Tussle in Assam. So the first issue that we need to understand is the NRC, which is known as National Register for Citizen. So the first NRC happened in 1951, followed which it was never updated. But in 1985, so what has happened is Assam Student Union actually agitated to bring in the NRC, because after 1971 war, a lot of people from Bangladesh actually migrated to the Assam region, and they started actually occupying lands. They started getting voter IDs. So this is something which natives didn't like, because they felt that their cultural identity is being threatened. So now what has happened is they actually signed an Assam Accord in 1985, followed which recently under the supervision of Supreme Court, NRC has been conducted. So now out of 3.9 crore people who have actually registered for it, 40 lakh people are outside the final draft. So these people have to give their legacy and lineage document. What are these documents? So here you have to basically prove that you have entered Assam region, or basically India region, before 1971, or you have to prove that your ancestors have come into Assam before 1971, and how exactly are you connected to them. Once you have proved this, a family tree will be formed, and once you have done that, you will be a part of NRC. But there are a lot of people who are not a part of it. So there are basic reasons for that. There are not much of documents that are available with these people. Also, there are few people who have migrated from West Bengal, not from Bangladesh, from West Bengal. They have migrated. They've been living here from 30 to 40 years, but because they don't have the proper documents here, they're not a part of NRC. Also, you need to understand this is not just against the native versus the migrants. This is also against the people, the linguistic differences that people have, because they are not just against the Muslim community or from the Bengali community. They are against even the linguistic people and the religious also. So that is something that we need to understand when it comes to Assam here. Also, you need to understand one more thing here, that Assam is in news a lot. So you need to understand the various states which borders it. So let's have a look at here. So first thing you need to understand is West Bengal touches it, Arunachal Pradesh, followed with Nagaland, Manipur, Mizoram, Tripura, and completely includes Meghalaya also. So these are the basic states which actually border Assam. Following which the next question is, how many countries does Assam touch? So you can see here, right over here, Bhutan touches it and Bangladesh also. Please notice that Myanmar is no way touching Assam here, right? Moving forward, this is about T.N. Srinivasan. So he has been an eminent economist when it comes to his contribution in the Indian economy. He has studied from Yale University, and there are a lot of people who admire the policy that he has used, because he has worked a lot in the statistic department along with the economic policies also. You need to understand that he has been honored with Padma Bhushan also. So if you're preparing for any of the exams like CDS and CAPF, so what they do is they name a personality and you have to tell them which field did they belong to. So they might just ask you which field was T.N. Srinivasan belonging to. So you might just be given like, was he belong to finance, maybe economics or politics. The units need to tell them that he was belonging to the economics field. Moving forward, let's just discuss the right to information. Before exactly jumping into the rating, we need to understand the basics of it. So the RTI Act was implemented in 2005. So this act is basically a transparency. So now a citizen can actually go to government, ask them any question which they wish to. Take an example of UPSC. Say you want an explanation for any question and an answer key, right? You can directly go and file an RTI and get the answer from the government itself. But you need to understand there are some questions which the ministry cannot answer. In that case, they can actually reject your RTI appeal also. So basically, on an overall higher level, what they give you is they give every citizen a right to ask questions to the government itself. So under this, there's one important provision which you need to understand. So here, you're not creating a new people or basically new body here. So there is one CIC body which is actually responsible so that every RTI Act gets an answer. But you need to understand we are not recruiting new people here. Already ministry has a lot of people, right? One of them will be assigned the in charge of basically replying to every appeal that comes in. If they fail to do it within a specific timeline, they'll be actually fined by this particular body known as CIC. So this is known as Central Information Commission. So this is exactly how this functions. Now coming to the rating. So rating is based on few of the indicators like right to access. How easily can the citizen actually apply for this particular right to information, or basically whatever information he wants to gather? How easily can he do it? Following which, what is the scope? What are the various domains where he cannot ask questions? For example, take an example of Rafael deal. We cannot get into technicalities, the amount of cost involved, because this is something which comes under the Secretive Act, right? So we cannot actually ask questions on that. So this is basically the scope of RTI. Can we ask about the political parties? The answer is no, because right now political parties are not coming directly under the RTI. Also, we need to understand here there are how easily is the procedure followed, which if there is a refusal, can you appeal for it? Also, we need to understand how exactly are the promotional measures, because every citizen should be aware about it. So recently the RTI rating, which has been launched by Center for Law and Democracy, says our ranking right now is 6th. So all these factors will decide our rating. But what we have noticed is many countries like Afghanistan, they have brought in the RTI Act after us, but they are very much high up on the ladder also. So coming back to statistics here, we have got recently 66.6 lakhs of RTI appeals, of which 4.8 lakhs were rejected, and CIC have actually put a penalty of 1.9 crore. Even though our RTI mechanism is really working good, but what we need to understand, there are always scope for improvement. So this is what this article tells us about. So let's just revise everything that we have discussed today. We discussed about RTI, we discussed about TN Srinivasan, followed which we discussed about the Tussle in Assam, and then we discussed about the Oumuamua, and then we discussed about the India and Singapore relations. So that's all for today, guys. If you like this video, please subscribe to my channel and share it as much as you can. Thank you and have a nice day. Jai Hind.